The Excel workbook is the heartbeat of CPMCAD. It's where your schedule lives, where you enter your activities, and where calculated results are written back into Excel by CPMCAD. While activities can also be entered manually inside CPMCAD, most users will find that building and maintaining their schedule directly in Excel is faster, more flexible, and the preferred experience. In this video, we'll cover what you need to know to work with the template correctly. First and most important, always start from one of the CPMCAD templates. Don't build your schedule in a blank workbook and expect CPMCAD to read it. The template has a precise structure that CPMCAD depends on to locate your data. You'll notice the columns follow a specific color code. Orange cells are your input fields. That's where you customize your project data. Green cells contain formulas that support the schedule calculations. These should be copied and updated as needed, but shouldn't require any editing. And blue cells are where CPMCAD writes the calculated critical path scheduling results after each run. That three-color system tells you exactly what belongs to you, what Excel controls, and what CPMCAD controls. The most critical rule: do not modify the header row. CPMCAD reads your spreadsheet by locating specific column headers: activity ID, activity name, duration, predecessor, and so on. If you rename a header, delete a required column, or shift things around, CPMCAD won't be able to find your data and the import will fail. You can add columns to the right of the defined range if you want your own notes or calculations. That won't cause any problems. But within the defined schedule area, we recommend leaving the headers exactly as they are. Once CPMCAD has provided the calculated results, you are free to manipulate and work with the data however you like, whether that's inside Excel or directly within AutoCAD. Use the Activity ID column to give each activity a unique identifier. Something like W1000, W1010, and so on, with gaps between identifications, so you can insert activities later without renumbering everything. Your predecessor references use these IDs, not row numbers, so your logic stays intact even when the schedule grows or changes. The resource column follows a simple format: the resource name followed by the unit count in parentheses. For example, Mark G1, Crane 1. Multiple resources are comma separated with no spaces in between. The names you use here need to match the resource names defined in your Excel resource worksheet. That's how CPMCAD links the assignment to the resource record for Gantt rendering, giving you a visual representation of resource usage so you can identify and address any overallocation yourself. If a resource name in your activity list doesn't match a name defined in your Excel resource worksheet, that resource simply won't appear on the Gantt chart. And if the resource name matches the worksheet, but no corresponding AutoCAD block symbol has been provided in your drawing, CPMCAD will fall back to drawing a solid hatch rectangle in its place. Once you run a critical path calculation inside CPMCAD, you can write the results back to your Excel file by pressing the Save to Excel button. Note that your Excel file must be closed before performing the write-back. The blue columns, early start, early finish, late start, late finish, total float, and free float, all get populated with the calculated values. This means your Excel workbook becomes a full schedule report you can share with anyone, even if they don't have CPMCAD. CPMCAD uses your activity IDs to match rows, so the calculated values always land in the correct row, regardless of how your predecessors are arranged. Your Gantt chart, however, draws activities from top to bottom in the order they appear in your Excel sheet. So keep in mind when you start working with CPMCAD, use the provided templates, protect the headers, use unique activity IDs. We recommend spacing them by 10 to allow for insertion of activities as the project progresses and updates occur. Format your resources consistently, and let CPMCAD populate the blue columns. Get those habits in place, and the Excel integration will be seamless every time.